Hello, I made these beanies with 4-weight yarn. The first two are made with Red Heart soft yarn and a 6mm hook. The next one I used 24/7 cotton and I used a 4.5mm hook with the same instructions. And the last one is Karen Simply Soft and I used a 5.5mm hook. If you'd prefer to make your own scarf, I have instructions for how to do that at the end of the video, so keep watching. Okay, let's get started on this beanie scarf. I've seen a lot of patterns similar to this, but they're made in the round, and I wanted to make something flat because it's just easier for me. I chained 30, and right now my chain is measuring about 9 inches. When I finish, it's going to measure more, like 8 to 8.5 inches, and then I add a little bit of an edge around the bottom by your face. So skip that first chain, go into the second one. I prefer to go into the back bump. It's right there. See all those back bumps? All you have to do is turn it over and you'll find your back bump. And I'm going to go across in the first 24 stitches, or chains rather, with half double crochet. Wow, that is an extreme close-up of my thumbs. Let's pull that out a little. You do not have to go into the back bump if that's a little difficult for you. I'm so used to doing it. I learned how to do it really with the chunky yarn, and that was easier. I am using a 5.5mm hook. The first two that I made, I used a 6mm hook. The third one I made, I'll show you in the pictures, the purple one, is I made, in cotton yarn. I'm going to catch all those threads there. The one I made in cotton yarn, I used a 4.5mm hook because the 6mm hook was leaving too many holes. I felt like I didn't want this. If people are using this when they've lost their hair, there we go. They probably don't want their scalp showing through. I want a little bit of airflow, but not big holes. I am right now using a 5.5mm. Going from a 6mm to a 4.5mm didn't really change the size, the length very much at all. All right, I missed a little loop there. You want to keep it as even as you can. Half double crochet all the way. I'm looking at my screen instead, because when I start looking at my work, then I sometimes don't have it in the screen. So make sure you're going to 24, and then we're going to change our stitch to a slip stitch. I'll meet you when I'm at 24 half double crochet. Okay, if you did indeed chain 30, and you may decide you need yours longer or shorter, just make sure that you have 5 chains left at the end. I made 24 half double crochet out in my 5 last chains will be slip stitch. Make it nice and loose. Seriously, make it nice and loose. This is just going to help when you have to gather the hat at the top. It won't be so bulky. It will fit much better. Okay, here's my last one. Chain 1 and turn your work. It's going to look really skinny down at this end, and it's supposed to, because that's the top of the head, the crown. Now, from now on, all the stitches will be worked into the back loop only. There's your first slip stitch. The first 5 will be slip stitch in the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it helps, You can use a stitch marker, which I will do when I get to my 5. If you don't have a stitch marker like that, or any kind of stitch marker, just use a piece of yarn that's a contrasting color. Make it easy on yourself. Okay, go into that back loop. Nice and loose, because this last one, when you're coming back, is hard to find. 2. Get in there. 3. Oops, I see a little thread back there. If there were any way to do this without having such a close-up of my hands, I would love to. 3, 4, 5. I'm being pickier than normal about how this looks because I'm donating them to our local cancer center, infusion center. My daughter-in-law goes there for fluid infusions every couple of weeks. And they said they would like shawls and hats. All right, so I have 5. Let me go ahead and mark that one so I know coming back. I don't even have to count now. It's very easy to get lost in counting your stitches or get distracted. I have music going on in my head most of the time. I get distracted. So we're going to switch over to half double crochet back loop only. And this is going to be your pattern for the first 5 rows. When we get to row 6, we're going to start making our openings for the scarf. I had to do a little math, which is not my best subject, to get this to turn out right. The good news is also this just fits kind of a medium women's head. It's very adjustable because the ribbing and just the yarn in general makes it stretchy. And the scarf, when you weave it in and out of the openings, also makes it adjustable. You can tighten it up, loosen. I just love the way the scarf looks. I'm also going to show you how, if you don't have a scarf or you don't want to get scarves, you can make a band out of crochet, either the same color or a pretty contrasting color. All right, go all the way to the end. In your very last, I'm going to meet you there because I want to show you something about the last stitch. Okay, just to make sure you're on track, from this stitch on, oops, let me lighten that up again. You should have 24. This will be my 24th. It's really easy to miss that last stitch, especially as you go on. It looks like it's really from the row before, but it's not. Make sure, just kind of pull it towards you. And in the very last stitch, instead of going in the back loop, we're going to go in both loops. It's going to help keep your edge even without the holes and make it easy to make our little band around at the end. You don't have to make the same band that I did. You could just do 2 or 3 rows of single crochet or half double crochet around it. That would be fine. Make it easier and faster. I don't know about faster. I'll show you what I made. Okay, make sure you go into that first loop, back loop only. And again, you're going to go 24 half double crochet. If you used your stitch marker, you don't even have to count. You know you're correct. Okay, I'll meet you when we're up at the top. All right, we're at the top. There's my stitch marker. If you didn't have one, just make sure you have 5 slip stitches left. It's very easy to miss this last one. It looks like there's no stitch there. Make sure you're going in the back loop only. When you're coming down with the half double crochet, your last half double crochet will go in a full stitch, but when you're coming up and making your slip stitches, it's the last stitch is going to go in the back loop only still, and that helps keep the pattern nice and flat. 2, 3, 4. It's really hard to find that last one. Sometimes you have to pull this little loop over, and then you'll see that V stitch go in the back loop only. If it gets really tight, get yourself a smaller hook just for that. Chain 1. And that's going to leave a nice little chain here. And when we come through to gather that in, it's going to be really easy to work with. Just make sure you keep your slip stitches loose. And come back down. 1, 2, don't mind my thumbs. 3, 4. I feel like I'm a little out of focus here. And 5, and this is where you would put your stitch marker. It's okay if this looks a little wonky up there. When you come back around, it'll straighten itself out. All right, go all the way back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. When we get to row 6, I will meet you when we are on row 6. It's a little different, and that's where we make our first opening. Just want to quickly show you, I am at the end of my row, and it looks like there's not another stitch there, but again, pull this little loop over, and you'll see there is a stitch, and that's the one that you go in the full stitch. It's going to be even harder on some rows to see that last stitch, so you really need to pull it towards you and pull that little piece out at the end if you need to find it. Okay, continue. Okay, I am now going to start row 6. It's going to be the same thing up here. 5 back loop only, slip stitch, and then 18 back loop only, half double crochet. I will meet you when I have my 18. And if you don't want to count your rows because it can get a little tricky, just count your bumps. 1, 2, 3. When you have 3 of these bumps, you know that when you come back down, that's going to be the row where you make your opening for the scarf. So I don't know why I said it that way. I don't normally say scarf like that. Okay, so 5 back loop only single crochet, 18 back loop only half double crochet, or slip stitch. I'm sorry, that's not a single crochet, slip stitch. Okay, be right back. I have my 18 back loop only half double crochet. I know that this is the correct row to make my opening here because I have 1, 2, 3 bumps. That's what I'm going to call them. And so I'm coming back down, and this is where I make my opening. You have 6 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's that elusive last stitch. It's right there. Don't miss it. So right now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's what's going to leave your opening. Skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into that 4th one, go into just the same as our regular pattern, back loop only. Pull through all 3, pull that kind of tight. Back loop only, and there's that last stitch, and go into both the front and back. Chain 1 and turn. See how it's looking? It's supposed to look this way at the top. It will look lovely when you're finished, and it will fit really well. So now turn it like this so that your chains match up with your stitches. So it's just like you're going in the back loop. So 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to go into the chains. All half double. It's just as though you're going in the back loop, only it's just a chain. 1, 2, 3, and now you're back onto your regular pattern. When I get to this stitch, which is stitch number 7, I pull that one a little bit tighter. It might look a little bit loose, but when you're coming around and making your little border here, it pulls it a little bit tighter, and it works out really well to hold the scarf. All right, so you've had 7. You're going to continue counting until you get to 24, and then do your 5 final back loop only slip stitch. You're going to continue this pattern. What worked for me was when I had 8 openings, I did another, I believe it was 3 rows, another matching up with this. So yeah, another 3 bumps out of the 6 rows. So there will be a bigger gap at the back between your spaces, and that way when you bring your scarf through on this side and on this side, you have a little bit of an opening here, and that's where you can adjust if it's a little tight or a little loose. Okay, I will meet you when we're ready to make the seam and bring the top together, and then we'll do this bottom edge. Just a note, because this last stitch is so tricky, there it is, I would suggest, so you don't have to worry about it, when you come back around this way and you make your first stitch, go ahead and put a stitch marker there. And then you know. You won't miss that stitch, okay? Just a little tip. It's looking good. See how stretchy it is? Okay, I have finished this part of my hat, my beanie scarf hat. I'm on the right side, my tail from my chain row is on the left. This is my last, messed up my nails there. This is my last opening. I have 8 openings, and then I have 1, 2, 3 more bumps on that side, and it matches up with this side. That was my first opening, and 1, 2, 3 bumps. And now we're going to put the right sides together. Mine is now measuring at the widest point a little over 10 inches, which is perfect. Just what I wanted. You want it to be about 20 inches total for an average size. Okay, let's get myself settled here. I have my right sides together. That was my last stitch. I will say this is Caron Simply Soft. My others I made with Red Heart Soft. This I'm finding splits a lot. Excuse me, if you're a beginner, probably would not be a good yarn for you. Excuse me, my goodness, early morning. All right, you're just going to come across and find that last stitch from the first row, or I guess it was your first stitch actually. Let's come across there. I'm going to try and get it in just the 2 loops. Get in there. Here we go. And we're going to pull that yarn through and pull it through. Now this is, see what I'm saying about splitting? I found that to happen a lot. The cotton yarn is probably the best if you're a beginner, and it would be comfortable for people who are wearing it because they've lost their hair. I prefer to work with the Red Heart Soft just because it's soft and easy. Okay, find your next stitch. On this side, the side that's closest to you, or if you're working this way, the side that's on the right, you're going to go into, this is what worked for me to make the seams match up. Go into both loops, and then on the other side, find the stitch that matches up. And go just in that loop that's closest to the middle. So that would be considered the front loop, the way that we're looking at it. And come through all of those with a slip stitch. Okay, and so the next one, go in your full loop, find the stitch across from it, just go in that one loop that's closest to the middle, pull through all of those loops with a slip stitch. Okay, and you're going to go on down all the way. In case you didn't line it up properly, missed a stitch, whatever, just add a stitch or come across and make them match up. It's not going to matter if you have it exactly perfectly matched up each stitch for stitch. It should be pretty easy, though. I didn't have any trouble with it. And I will meet you when we're at the top and we'll cinch this together. If you have trouble getting through your slip stitches on the very top 5 stitches, just get a smaller hook, bring it through, and chain 1. And this is how your seam will look. It's pretty much invisible. This is the wrong side. This is the right side. There's my seam. There's my seam. That's how yours should be looking. And you see what I was saying, where I have a bigger space here, because that's where the scarf's going to come through, and you'll tie it. And that is what gives you the ability to adjust the size. Okay, now, see, this kind of looks like a cable. We're going to go in between those, and we're going to start with the slip stitch. We are going to decrease, going to go 2 slip stitches, and then we're going to put 2 together, and that's going to bring this in even closer together, and then we will come through and weave those together. So that was 2 slip stitches. Now we're going to do 2 together. So pull that through and then go into that next loop. Try to catch just the one loop there. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Pull that first one through the other 2, and that's just pulling those together because you are crocheting 2 together. Okay, so now we're back to going 1, 2, stay in between those stitches there, and now 2 together. Oops, 1, you have 2 loops on your hook, go into that next stitch and pull through those 2 loops. See, it's making it just a little bit tighter, and it's giving you a nice edge where we can weave in and out to pull it together. All right, another 1 on the other side. Try to catch just 1 loop, 2 slip stitches, and now 2 together. So we're going to jump over here, 1, keep that loop on there, jump over to the next one, 2, and pull through. Oops. 1, 2. We're almost there. Oops. Make sure you get the whole loop, not just part of it. It's splitting on me again. There we go. And 2 together. Okay. When you reach the beginning, we're just going to slip stitch those together. That's way over here. And we will be ready to weave in and out. I'll be right back when you reach your very first stitch of that back round. Where I started. Just going to come into that with a slip stitch. Chain one. Bring yourself a good long tail. And then we're going to get our scissors and our needle, and I'll be right back. All right, we're going to just pull this through. I cut my tail much longer than I needed it to be, but I'd rather have it too long. Pull that tight. All right, whatever tapestry needle you have. You could just use a small crochet hook to bring it in and out. And now, there are your stitches. Let's, I want to turn this right side out to finish it. Bring that through. All right, we're right side out now. There are your stitches. And we are very simply going to go in and out, in and out. I'll go ahead and bring that through. And this is going to tighten it up. It came out there, so I want to go in this one. And out. It just kind of naturally left some holes for you. So go in and out of all of your stitches at the top. And I will meet you when we get to the beginning. All right, I'm back to the beginning. There's my tail where I started. I went in and out, in and out. I'm just going to cinch it together. You don't want to leave any knots or any hard pieces up here. You want the hat to be comfortable. Pull it tight. Now I'm just going to come across and over to the side. Don't want to do it too much. Just want to close it up. A little bit of a hole there, so I'm going to come across here and then bring it in to the inside. Weave it in. Don't leave any knots, just weave it in and out. Back and forth a few times. You don't want to have any really clumpy parts, so make sure you, when you're weaving it in, you maybe go up and down a little bit. Just don't have it all in one spot. Just go back and forth 2 or 3 times. Just find your little tunnels there. Remember, no knots, because that would be uncomfortable. I'm going to cut that one. And I'll bring this one through as well. And I'm going to weave that in. Pull that tight. I'm going to weave that in, and I'll be back to show you how to do the edge. All right, when you reach your last stitch, or you're just about to join the beginning, that was my last stitch, but I want them to come together here in a nice even way. So I'm going to take my yarn, I just cut a few inches, bring it on through that last stitch there, and get your needle, thread your needle. We're going to come across with an invisible join, So we're going to skip this first stitch and go into this second one, both loops from the front to the back. Bring that yarn through, and all we're going to do is replace this stitch by coming into the middle. See where our yarn is coming through. Come in there, pull that together. Now you're going to want to come in the back, catch a piece there, just very carefully, not too tight. And there you've joined with an invisible join. You can't see it, but we still have a gap here. So we're going to come through, just grab it on either side. Still a little bit of a gap there. Just grab one little loop. You want these to match up. Okay, and that's your very back seam. So just weave that in and out. I have one more from the beginning that I need to weave in and out, and you are done. Let me just take that off. I'll weave those in a minute. This is how the top looks. It might look to you like it's not long enough, but it is. It looked really short to me at first. Let me see how long this is. Top to bottom, about 9 inches. And I'm going to take my scarf. Get my edges together here. And here's your back. You know it's the back because you have a bigger space here. You want it to be, you want the scarf to be coming out where you can tie it together on that side. So leave a long edge out. This was the best color I could come up with from what I had. I didn't have any blue at the time. Blue would have looked nice also. I tried a mint green, but it was just a little bit off. I didn't quite cut it. I thought about orange, but then I tried this dark green and I did like it a lot. So let's weave in and out. Oops, I missed a hole, which would show up at the end because the last one wouldn't come out in the right spot. Make sure I didn't miss any others. And you can fold it over, make it look really pretty at the very end. If you want a certain part of the scarf to show through, you can fold it and just kind of manipulate it to make that part show through. I want more of the green to show than the blue. That's what I'll be doing. The blue is pretty too. I just want some of the green, so it makes sense. All right, so you're going to even your edges up, pull it through, and then just there you go. And tie it in the back, and I'll show you a picture of it on my little headstand, hat stand, wig stand, whatever it is. Isn't that cute? It's nice and stretchy, very comfy. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you make some of these, maybe donate some of these. That's what's going to happen. All of mine are going to be donated. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you how to crochet a band in case you don't want to or just don't have a scarf. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I have finished my hat, and if you want to make your own crochet scarf to go in and out of our spaces here, let me show you how I made mine. Sometimes it's just easier because you already have the yarn and you don't have a scarf, and it's cute anyway. I found this yarn that I have. I think it's Heartland yarn. Yosemite, I believe, is the color. It's a dark rust color. All right, so let's move that hat out of the way. We are going to start with a chain of 3. This is just how I made mine. Grab your working yarn. This is how I made mine. 1, 2, 3. I'm just using the same 5.5 millimeter. You could go down a size or 2. And I'm going to use half double crochet. Come into the second chain from the hook. 1, and you have 1 more chain. 2 half double crochet. It's going to go like this, and this is going to be the pointy end of your scarf. Chain 1 and turn. Now in that first stitch, you have 2 stitches. There's 1, there's 2. Start here. You're going to put 2 half double crochet. In the same stitch. 1. And you're going to put 2 half double crochet in the next. So now you have 4 half double crochet. Chain 1 and turn. One more time. Put 2 half double crochet in the first and the last stitch. So 1, 2. The next 2 stitches just get 1 half double crochet. 3, 4, and then that very last stitch is hard to find. It's right there. That gets 2 stitches, so you're going to end up with 6 stitches. 5 and 6, and that's how wide I made my little scarf to go through. You could also use this just to wear as a headscarf. Okay, now the only thing we're going to do differently is front loop, back loop, half double crochet. So there's my front loop. Hang on, didn't get all of it in there. Front loop, half double, and back loop. And the reason I did this was because it made it a little bit lacier. You could just do all half double. It would be just fine. I just like the way this looked, and it made it a little more flexible, a little more drape to it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the front loops will be odd numbers, and all the back loops. There's your last back loop. Doesn't look like it's there, but it is. No, you don't want to go into that one. That's the front loop. That's your back loop. Okay. Let me look at that and not the screen. There we go. Half double. Sorry about that. Chain 1, turn. And you're going to continue that. Just front loop, back loop, front loop, back loop. All the front loops will be an odd number. All the back loops will be an even number. This will get woven in at the end. And let me show you how to make the end of it. I am just almost there. With the one that I made. So this is what I was talking about. It makes it look a little bit lacy, a little bit fancy. There's a lot of stretch to it. So make it just as long as you want. I made it long enough to go around my hat, and then some to tie in the back. Not as long as the scarves that I have are, but long enough. Okay, chain 1 and turn. It's as long as I want it now. So now I'm going to put 2 half double crochet together. So 1, 2. That's not normally how I would do half double crochet together, but it works for this. The next 2 stitches are just half double crochet, and then you have 2 stitches left, this one and this one. Bring those 2 together, 1, 2. That's just tightening it up. I know it looks like there's not a stitch there, but that's it. Bring through all your loops, chain 1. You have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So bring these 2 together, and bring these 2 together. Okay. So find your other end that matches up. So all you need to do now is you can either chain 1 or just pull that through. I think I'm just going to pull mine through. I did. Did I chain 1? I did. I chained 1 from the back. You could also chain 1 from the front if you want to make a little bit more of a point. I think I'm good with that. Okay, I'm going to cut my yarn. Again, you can use regular half double crochet. You could do single crochet, really any stitch you want to. Pull that tight. Weave those ends in. I'll be right back. The only thing left to do now is to weave this in just like you did the other one. You want to make sure that your end comes out here and your other end comes out here. So we will start by weaving in. You know that's your back because you have the bigger space. This is a much darker orange than what is showing up on my screen anyway. Make sure you don't skip any. Weave in and out. Flatten it out. You could do double crochet if you wanted to move along a little faster. I just like the way that front loop, back loop, half double crochet gives you that little bit of interest there. I'm really happy with that, how that came out. Okay, so it's a much darker, it's a rust color. Pull that through, let's see. Same thing with the scarf, just get your ends even and pull it through. And then you can tie it however you like. Let me make sure I'm flat. If you want to make it really long, like a scarf, you can do that. You can just tie it like this. You could tie it like you would a tie. If you made it longer, you could make it into a bow. I think that's a little bulky for a bow. I don't know how to tie a tie. I did it earlier. Somehow I went around and then back up and through the loop. And that looks cute too. Or you could make it just long enough to work it through and just simply sew your seams together. Just gives it more interest. I do like having it where you can adjust it. Make it a little tighter, a little looser. All right, I'm making you dizzy probably here. Anyway, I hope you like this pattern. I hope you're able to make it. Either use it yourself, find someone else you can gift it to, and I think they will enjoy it. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you did. If you have already subscribed, thanks very much. I appreciate you watching. And I will have another pattern up very, very soon. Thanks for watching. For the free written pattern, go to my website at www.i-crochet.com.